Okay, now I compared, okay, I don't know what it was about to this day. I don't know why he did it. I assume it was because there was a bunch of stuff flapping in Clearwater. But Tom, nothing was said. Not a single thing. That's the type of behavior I'm talking about when I say dwindling. I mean, initially when I saw some acts of violence, maybe 6, 8 years earlier, there was usually something that happened, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody defied him somehow. And then, you know, I don't think it was ever justified, but it seemed to have some sort of justification. But it got to the point where this guy is literally pulling a stunt like that.
You know, there was another incident with Mike Rinder in Clearwater that you witnessed.
We were in Clearwater probably in 2000 or 2000, probably 2000, 1999 or 2000, when we were very deeply and intimately involved in the handling of the criminal and civil cases. There was a 2-year period down here. I think Dave was here full time, and so was Mike and I. And we had a conference room on the 3rd floor of the West Coast building, which is the building catty corner to the Sandcastle Hotel. It's a little management building. It's not a big one. It's the old stucco, South Florida stucco style building. Mike and I used to operate from a conference room. Dave had a whole suite of offices that adjoined that, and he had a big office at the end of the hall. One day, and I can't recall to this day what it was about, but I know Rinder was sitting at a conference table, you know, with a chair, so he's sort of pinned in like this, you know, the table's here, and Dave comes up from the side of him unannounced and hit him up open-handed upside the head, knocked him back, shoved the chair in so Mike is defenseless, and Mike screamed, and and Miscavige started screaming at him, saying, "Are you trying to make me wrong by screaming? What do you know?" He started screaming obscenities at him, and then grabbed Mike by the neck and twisted him out of the chair. Mike was sort of pinned in because the chair was pinned up against the thing, so he couldn't easily roll off. And Miscavige just ripping his neck like this, pulled him down and just threw him down on the floor by his neck. And Mike was really yelping in pain. And he, you know, I've seen Mike get beat before, and he wouldn't say a peep. But he was really in pain, and I know for certain that this was a severe injury because I was working with him day in and day out during that entire period. In other words, our organizations were in L.A. and INT, respectively. When we were down there, we were just working for Miscavige. So Mike and I would drive home together at night at 2 in the morning. We'd drive in at 9 in the morning. We'd eat breakfast. You know, we lived together, basically. His neck was all kinked up, and he was limping around like stuck like this for at least a week after that beating.
How did that attack end? Did Mr. Miscavige walk out of the room? What happened?
Stormed out, made his point, whatever his point was, because he's always screaming and hollering at the guy when he's you know, beating on him for some perceived slight or perceived wrong. But Tom, by that point, I can't give you the, you know, they lost their significance as it got so routine and regular. You know, you can't always attach significances to them because, like I said, you know, sometimes they just didn't have any significances attached to them.
How routine and regular was it? I mean, was this every meeting that happened once a week, or could you describe?
Yeah, well, you know, it's hard for me to say because, you know, I was so often out doing things at in different places. Like I'd go off to Clearwater and be gone for 9 months, so I wasn't, you know, privy to what was going on at INT. Or I'd be off to L.A. to handle something for a month at a time, or you know, I was on the Tom Cruise thing for 6 months where I didn't do anything else. I was at the Celebrity Center in Los Angeles, okay? But during the last 9 months or so, after I had done a big stint in Clearwater on the McPherson cases and come back towards the end of 2003, during the last couple of months there, I mean, it was every day. Miscavige was beating on somebody every day, and it got so bad that he then literally, in late in January of 2004, he finally got everybody who was connected with international management, the whole watchdog committee, the International Management Executive Committee, which included Guillaume Lasserre of the ED International, all of the senior CS office, all the senior technical people in Scientology, and literally locked them in a double wide, where he would then just about every day come in and beat somebody up, Tom. And then that wasn't good enough. He started inciting others to start hitting others, like really pushing on them, and really saying, really needling them, like, well, you're a suppressive person because you're letting this ethics. You're just as suppressive as that person if you don't. You know what I'm saying? And it was getting to the point where people were starting to slap one another around.